What's up, everybody? Here we are, and we're diving into the unbecoming in reference to business. Last year, March 22nd, 2024, I launched Fueled Fitness Lifestyle Coaching. Quit all my jobs, 2 feet into my own thing, didn't know what I was doing, learned a lot. And as I continue the process of unbecoming in my life, which is now what this podcast is called, I am embracing the most authentic version of myself that I've ever met and created from, and thus Mind Body Mastery is here. What's up, everyone? I am Caroline, sharing my lived experience, life experience, all the golden nuggets I picked up along the way, in hopes that I can be a witness, be an inspiration for you just to start living life on your own terms. If it ruffles feathers, so be it. And I've gotten a lot of inquiry about personal stories and what I'm experiencing. So today, the intricacies of unbecoming. Welcome. I'm stoked that you're here. A lot of my life has been spent trying to prove, trying to win you over, so that you can see the strength that I have and the worth that I'm capable of and the capacity to bring my biggest desires into fruition. And through trying to prove to you how much I can love, prove to you how strong I am, prove to you how much discipline I've got, prove to you all the cool things that I can do that you're too scared to do, and be the top 1% of the 1%. All of that was, yes, me trying to meet my need and my genuine want of the coolest life that I get to live. But it was denying what I was and what I was made of. Because searching for the validation in my external world, searching for the person who's gonna come sweep me off my feet because I'm finally healed enough to be in a healthy relationship, for finally doing all the things, the Kambo, the meditation, the breath work, to get rid of all the shit that my body's carrying on to. Like, yes, that is all so important and it's still part of the journey, but it is not the soul journey. Because you know what else matters a lot? Living, experiencing, being, creating. And I am on this now everlasting journey of unbecoming the version of Caroline that I wanted you to see, remembering who I am. And it's so exciting because I keep shedding more and more layers. And there is not one right way to do it. Yes, the breath work has taken me to amazing, incredible places, unlocked things that I didn't know were possible. Yes, sitting in the sun and meditating and cold plunging and acting in alignment with my values has uncovered things and taken me places that I couldn't imagine. But it's the relationship of those things to me now that have really changed the story. Because I want to do those things to get to know myself better. I'm not relying on them to heal me so that I can finally start living. I'm no longer giving my power away to an addictive cycle relationship because I don't know what type of love I'm even worthy of, so I'm gonna prove to you how much you get to be loved and lose myself in the process. This isn't I'm gonna make $1 million so that I finally feel and have proof that I've healed my money scarcity that I picked up along the way. It's no longer, hey, look at how awesome I am at a bodybuilder and how freaking dialed in I can keep it and all the shit that I can push past just to perform and step on that stage. This is no longer a story of me denying parts of my being, parts of my existence, parts of the truest, deepest parts of me. This is raw dogging it. And it's such a freaking incredible experience. No longer identifying with needing to be healed, needing to be seen, needing to be validated. Because I see myself. I validate myself. And I no longer need you to see my struggles for me to feel okay enough to celebrate my wins. And the deeper I get into my uncovering journey, the more I've realized all of the things that happened to me, I asked for in a way. And I don't say that to put myself in a victim pity stance. I say that from a place of full self-acceptance. When I got out of rehab and treatment for drugs, alcohol, eating disorder, mental health stuff, my quality of life was low and I couldn't take care of myself anymore, and I needed a lot of external help and was deep into a lot of maladaptive coping mechanisms, which is just a fancy word for saying that I was coping with my life by punishing myself and hurting myself and numbing and putting shit into my body that didn't belong there. And all I wanted was to be loved and to be taken care of. And so I was searching for love, which then instilled the idea that I didn't have it and I needed it outside of me. And that led me to a very desperate place. I didn't know it at the time. This is all hindsight's 2020. I didn't know I was doing any of this. I wanted love, so I became desperate for it. So the first person that showed interest in me, I welcomed them in with open arms. I was so desperate for love that I ignored every time my boundary was crossed, every time I said no and it turned into an okay. Every time I said, I'm not going to do this, but then I would give in. Every time I tried to keep somebody else happy and safe and secure at the expense of myself. And for so many years, blamed this relationship. I saw it as an abusive relationship that I didn't need, that I wasn't worthy of. When I did my 12 steps through Alcoholics Anonymous, I remember this is one of the 2 things in my life that I just left, like I didn't need to take accountability for because it was a fucked up situation, which it was. And there are a lot of things that I don't have accountability for because I can't, because there takes 2 to tango. But I still was a player. It takes 2 to tango. And that's how our entire life revolves. Because yes, it took extreme circumstances for me to leave after I had recognized I had become a shell of a human being. I didn't know who I was. And I'm grateful for those extreme circumstances because they forced me to start choosing myself. And thus, the process of continuing to choose me has taken me to a place beyond my wildest dreams. I feel safe in my body. I feel safe listening to my body. I am always still learning and growing. I still don't do it perfectly. And I'm grateful that I don't do it perfectly because in the imperfections is what makes me me. If everyone was the exact same, what would be the point of having different human beings? We would all just be a big glob of wonderful joy. We all have these unique traits that make us us because we all have something so special to give to this earth and to share from this earth. And I've known that for a really long time. I started in college and nursing school because I wanted to be the bright spot on people's worst days. So I poured into an industry that left me physically and mentally unwell. I was working 12-hour shifts at night, trying to make money during the day because I didn't get paid enough to support the life that I wanted to live. But it was the right thing to do because I'm helping people, I'm supporting people, and I love freaking science. You know me, we do everything here. We dive into the science, the research, we do the spirituality, the energetic side of it. All the things have space at the table. So I loved learning about the things and working in a hospital environment and supporting people getting better, but I couldn't do it at the expense of my soul, of my physical health, of my mental health, because those things are actually very, very important to me. So then I started social work school. I mean, there was a lot between the two, a lot of self-growth. Then we dive into social work because, you know, the medical industry kind of just fucks everybody over. That's a very broad term, and I know there's good people part of it. I will acknowledge that. My experience with the medical system has been a lot of it does not have our best interest in mind, and it is not from a preventative state, which, hey, as a social worker, maybe I can help people experiencing homelessness or people that don't have access to as many resources get that belief in themselves that they can go do whatever they want and set them free of their barriers. And I, because of my history, really went into the niche of substance abuse counseling. And again, it was awesome. I loved learning about it. I loved learning about the science of it, the processes, the communities. Like, there's a lot of rad stuff that goes on at the expense of my own soul. I was pouring my energy, my resources, my time into people that didn't always even care about themselves. I felt like I was trying to convince people day in, day out that they were worthy, that they did have the capacity to live without addiction, without these relationship cycles. And I was like, you know what? This isn't it. And I couldn't see it until recently, because all the times that I wanted somebody to come save me and somebody to love me enough that I felt worthy and buy the things for me that I wanted and treat me the way that I wanted to be treated, I was looking for that all along. And then I step in the role of trying to show people that they can just do that for themselves. But I wasn't freaking doing it for myself. I wasn't honoring that I could be whoever I wanted to be, doing whatever I wanted to do, having security and safety and love at an exponential, infinite supply within my own being and vessel. So then I started pouring everything into that bucket. I decided, you know what? If it makes someone upset, if it makes someone uncomfortable, if somebody has an opinion about it that's negative, I'm going to choose me. I'm going to stop pouring into everybody else's buckets just so I feel worthy of seeing myself. And things have shifted beyond my wildest dreams, because now I get to sit here, having run this business for 1 year, uncovering this brand revamp into Mind Body Mastery, showing up as my most authentic self to me, and get to share that with other people. And I've had the most authentic, divine connections over the past few months. Doors have opened to things that I didn't even think were possible. I'm experiencing the depths of emotion that I never thought I could experience or even want to experience. I'm inviting in my authentic experience and expression of this human journey, and it's more than I ever wanted. And I can sit here and tell you about all the shit that I've overcome, about being adopted and how I never thought I was worthy of love or had to be perfect to be accepted, because at my very being, like, there's nothing is more raw and pure than a little being. And I was removed from everything I knew, put into a new home. So we could say that I was interpreting the world through the lens of never being worthy till recently. Or I could tell you about how I was suicidal at the age of 10, and from 10 until 23 would rather have been dead than keep going on. I can tell you about my suicide attempts. I can tell you about the times that I did drugs and alcohol past the point that I wanted to, got myself in situations that were scary, but I didn't leave because I just wanted to be seen and held. The relationships I sought out that completely destroyed and ripped every sense of self from me. That I have sat in the bathroom at work bawling because somebody asked me what I brought to the team and I couldn't answer the question. I can sit here and tell you about how I was bullied and thought that I was stupid and didn't know what was going on and always felt other than. And I can tell you about going to treatment and rehab and overcoming the eating disorder and being up in the loony bin or sitting in the ER or almost dying from drugs. Like, the story goes on and on and on. And I'm not here to tell you about all the stuff that I've been through to show you how strong that I am, because the resilience that I have now is the strength that's always been there. And the only person blocking that from coming to fruition is me, was me. Every time I chose to eat something that I knew wasn't beneficial for my human body, I was voting in the direction of I don't deserve what I want. Every time I let my ex cross a boundary that I had set, that wasn't him overstepping my boundary. That was me allowing him to step over my boundary, which sent the message of I don't respect myself enough to make other people unhappy to preserve my safety. Every time I tried to change somebody else to show them that they're loved or support them, and then I come home and I don't support myself because I numb out on my feelings, because I self-sabotage my results and the things that I actually do want, because I push myself past the point of no return that it implicates my physical health. Every single small action that you make, every small decision you make, every time you make a choice, you are voting in the bucket of I respect and love myself. I honor everything that I am. Or you're in the bucket of a familiar pattern that doesn't serve you. Or you're in the bucket of I don't respect myself. And we're not getting into it because it's not your fault. That's why I'm not gonna sit here and tell you about my sob story. Because every single thing that I've been through has just been a little peek into the door of things that I was searching for outside of me. Things that I was denying myself of. And thank goodness I experienced those things. I would not change any of it. I've lived 12 lifetimes in my small little lifetime because whether my soul came to this earth wanting to experience all those things, because I just kept denying myself, it doesn't matter. We're here now, fully embracing that I know I am. And it's exciting to wake up in the morning. It's exciting for me to feel the resistance and feel the frustration in my life, because that is how I know I'm no longer living in alignment with what I truly want. And the end goal, there is really no end goal at this point. I'm just trying to be in the moment of every moment, experiencing it. And I've chosen to make choices that light me up, that excite me in the moment. And then I can discover, man, I actually don't like this. Or this is actually pretty cool. I'm gonna keep doing this. Life is no longer about figuring it out, about making sure everything is lined up perfectly as I want it. It's messy and it's freaking beautiful. And this world has conditioned us to believe that we have to have it all figured out with a cherry on top, with a retirement plan and a 401k full of things and a family that looks perfect, and everyone has manners and everyone acts a certain way in public to keep other people comfortable, and we don't want to be a bother, but we have to be really giving and sweet, and we need to be selfless, and whatever it is. Let's just throw all that junk out the window, because you know what? Somebody made it up. Do you even know who made it up? No, because they don't know you. So why are you following those rules? This whole revamp of this podcast is now called UnBEcoming, because I invite you on the journey of unbecoming, in the messy and the magic. Because I can guarantee with 100% confidence, I'll put my 2 arms on it. And I like my arms, so I don't really want to get rid of them. But I'll put my 2 arms on it, that if you start right now, in this exact moment, choosing what excites you, choosing what lights you up, that things will just keep getting better. And all the things that you're worried about right now, that you're stressed about, that you're overthinking about, that you're trying to figure out, I just want you to know they don't actually exist, right? In this moment in time, is there anything to worry about? In this exact moment, is there anything to worry about? So why are you worried about it? When it's time to figure it out, it'll be right in front of your face. But most of the time, it's just you comparing yourself to somebody else's rules that are made up in of themselves that make you feel a certain way. But guess what? You don't have to do anything. There's nothing you should be doing. And there's no wrong way to move forward. The only disservice you can do is to stop trying. And up until this point, guess what? You've had your own freaking back. So chances are you're gonna keep having your own freaking back, right? You've survived the suffering, you've survived the challenges, you've survived the growth periods, the pain, the neglect, the confusion, the desperation, the shame, the guilt, the sadness, the depression, the anxiety. So I'm gonna bet, because those are hard things to carry, I'm gonna make a strong bet that you can also carry the happiness and the joy. And you don't have to feel sad in order to feel the joy. You get to just be joyful. In this moment in time, you get to be joyful. Those big dreams that you have, they get to be yours. And you're the only one that can take you there. Yes, it kind of sucks to be like, fuck, nobody's gonna come and sweep me off my feet and fix all my problems. Unfortunately not. But we wouldn't want that anyway. Because you know how you sustain that big vision that you have? Of the life that you wake up happy and joyful every day, just grateful to be alive, excited to make it the best day ever? Because let me tell you, I wake up like that most days and it still shocks me. And I didn't get there because someone else handed it to me. And I don't sustain it because someone else continues to give it to me. I got it because I created it. I started to step into the role of co-creator with my life. I followed the impulses. I followed the call. I followed where my heart wanted me to go, especially when it didn't make sense, when I didn't understand. For those of you that have followed my journey, I was out in California for a few months, came back. It was expensive. It was tiring. It was like moving yourself with a dog 3 states away, and then 3 months later, coming all back in the middle of prep, 5 weeks out from a national bodybuilding show. It's exhausting. It's a lot. But I knew it was the right step to take, because now I get to live with my birth mom and my birth siblings and experience being part of a family that I always was curious about. Witness my roots, witness myself and other people. And that magic that I'm talking about, like, I am full body chills right now and it makes me want to start crying. That magic is real. And yes, your circumstance and story is going to look differently, but I guarantee the feelings are going to be the exact same. Because following my heart, following that pull, finding stillness in my body to even hear that whisper has brought me exactly where I wanted to be. And I didn't have to push. I didn't have to shove. I didn't have to figure it out. I just set the intention and started showing up for me every step of the way, doing what excited me. And I wasn't able to get to this expansive, awesome place that keeps getting better without a strong foundation. And if someone else would have given me all of this, I wouldn't have the skills to maintain that strong foundation. So that's why it's a thank goodness somebody can't give it to you, because then you wouldn't know how to sustain it. You wouldn't know how to hold it and stay there. And the strong foundation of making choices that respect my human body, that respect my boundaries, that respect my energy and my worth. When I was talking about every choice you make is a vote of what you are going to get back, every choice you make is a declaration. A declaration. Now that's a pretty strong word, right? Every single choice you make is a declaration of your standards. And your standards don't change. In this environment, in that environment, for this person, for that person, it's your standards point blank declared. So if you let John walk all over you, is your health going to be in line? Is your energy going to be high? Are you going to have a job that fairly compensates you for the energy and output you have? Are you going to feel purposeful? No. You are eating every single night junk that is destroying your gut and your body and getting your hormones all wonky, and your neurotransmitters don't know what's going on because you're getting these fast dopamine hits from sugar and candy and food, and then you have to numb out watching Netflix afterwards because you can't handle it. How do you think that's going to show up at work? How do you think that's going to show up in your family? And if you're a parent listening to this, if you have kiddos in your environment, or if you interact with other people, and the idea of choosing yourself feels impossible because you have other people to take care of, or other people to teach, or other people to learn, another golden nugget from AA is the serenity prayer, talking about what you can control, what you can't control, and the wisdom to know the difference between those things. And at the end of the day, the only thing you can control is the choices that you make. Yes, you're raising children. Yes, you're interacting with people and loved ones and coworkers and clients, whatever it is, but you cannot change somebody else. We've all heard the saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't get him to drink it. But do you actually know what that means? Have you really sat with that truth? And if you're listening to this, I know that you're an awesome person that just wants to give and help and support. Guess what? Me too. And I found that the only way to do that is by living my truth, my power, with the hopes that it makes an impact. It's never been about influencing others, because you don't want to manipulate someone else to do something that you think is best for them, because guess what? Just like we were talking about, they don't learn the skills to maintain their best self. So in wanting to support and change others, we're really just enabling their unhelpful patterns, unhealthy mechanisms. And even if you're not consciously trying to change somebody else, we pick up on nonverbal cues. We pick up on energies. We pick up on feelings and emotions. And this is why it's so important to put you first. Because whatever you believe unconsciously, whatever old story you're playing into, whether it's I need to eat a certain way to stay skinny, or I can't eat this without working out, or I have to please other people around me, or I can't say no, or it's not safe to feel feelings. If you don't even ever speak that out to your children, if you're operating from that place, they're gonna pick up on that and they're gonna start believing it as truth. Yet they watch you say, oh, it's okay to feel your feelings, or oh, it's okay to eat what your body calls for, or whatever. But they know that you're even lying to yourself. And all this happens very unconsciously. So the biggest impact that you can make on other people is to choose yourself. So if I haven't convinced you yet with my words, with my experience, I invite you to explore for yourself. Just do a little experiment. Commit 3 minutes. You have 3 minutes every single day. I'm not gonna do the math, but there's 24 hours in a day. There's 60 minutes in an hour. That's a lot of minutes in a day. 3 of them devote to you, right here, right now. Whatever it looks like. What excites you? What lights you up? What gives you the space to feel your full range of feelings without having to change them? Whether that's spending 3 minutes listening to your favorite song every day, whether that's 3 minutes writing down your feelings in a journal, whether that's 3 minutes, if all you have is 3 minutes in a bubble bath with your favorite book a day, with candles or something lovely, whether that's waking up 3 minutes earlier and moving your body, connecting with your body, calling a friend. Do something that genuinely lights you up, that meets your needs, that is not reliant on somebody else. And I guarantee, like I said, with 100% confidence, that it keeps getting better. But you have to consistently do it, because you're the only one that can save you. You're the only one that can put in the time and the energy to learn the skills. But really, it's not learning the skills, but that's what makes sense to our logical mind. To learn the skills to be the person that you want to be. But in actuality, it's unbecoming everything you thought you needed to be, that somebody told you you should be, returning to your true essence and living solely from that place. And remembering that everything you're worried about, everything you're scared about, doesn't even exist. It's all a freaking illusion. In this moment, you are safe. In this moment, you have everything you need at an infinite capacity. Because at the end of the day, you just want to feel loved, right? You just want to feel supported and secure and stable and like the security from to go do the things you want to do. So start acting like it by putting yourself first, inviting in those feelings, and allowing yourself the full human experience. Welcome to the next chapter of UnBEcoming, deeper and deeper every single day as we follow the magic that lights us up regardless of what it looks like on the outside. I'm stoked you're all here, and I can't wait to keep this journey going. Have a stellar day.